Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into the 2024 U.S. presidential election today.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, we're looking at celebrity endorsements.
All right.
So it's Harris versus Trump, round 2.
Round 2, yep.
And you know the polls are neck and neck.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
We all know celebrities endorse candidates.
Right.
But you want to know what's really going on?
Oh, yeah.
Why are certain celebrities backing who they are?
Mm-hmm.
You even pointed out a couple that made you scratch your head.
Oh, yeah.
Like Tom Brady backing Trump.
Interesting.
And Taylor Swift is all in for Harris.
Wow. Okay. So that's the deal.
Well, those are some great examples, and they show just how divided the country is right now.
Absolutely.
This election isn't just about, like, policies. It's about values.
Yeah.
When celebrities get involved in politics,
Mm-hmm.
they're taking a side in this, like, cultural clash.
They are, yeah.
It's really interesting to see how these endorsements reflect what different groups of America
are anxious about and what they want for the future.
So it's more than just star power.
It is, yeah.
It's about tapping into something deeper.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Okay.
Let's start with Trump.
Okay.
We've got some big names in business backing him.
Like who?
Like Elon Musk. He's basically turned X into a pro-Trump platform.
He's not shy about it.
Not at all.
No.
And Peter Thiel, he's given millions to these Trump picks.
Right. The political action committees.
Exactly.
Those picks are important because they can spend a lot of money on ads and getting people to vote. Mm-hmm. And there's often less transparency than with direct campaign donations.
Interesting.
But then you've got someone like Tom Brady, who normally, athletes stay out of politics.
Right.
He's out there praising Trump's economic policies.
Interesting.
My guess is that Brady's endorsement will really speak to certain white middle-class voters who like Trump's image as a successful businessman.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about Kanye West.
Oh, yeah. What about him?
Even after his own presidential run didn't work out, he's still a huge Trump supporter.
Yeah.
He's even organizing concerts in swing states.
Oh, wow.
Like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin.
Smart.
It seems like he wants to turn his fans into voters.
It's very possible. Yeah, and those swing states, they're going to decide this election.
They are.
Every single vote matters there.
Big time.
Celebrities with all their fans.
Yeah.
They could really change people's minds, especially those who haven't decided yet.
Absolutely. And then you've got Roseanne Barr.
Oh, yeah.
She's using her podcast to get people to vote for Trump.
I see.
And Jon Voight,
that
veteran actor, he's making these like pro-Trump videos that are going viral like crazy.
Interesting.
Both of them have actually gotten a lot of criticism for their views.
Oh, wow.
Even some people are calling for boycotts.
Really?
Yeah, this goes to show how polarizing this election is.
For sure, yeah. It's crazy.
Even after she passed away, Kirstie Alley's family is still voicing their support for Trump.
Wow.
It highlights that these endorsements are often about beliefs that go way beyond the individual celebrity.
Right.
It's more than just saying you like someone.
Yeah.
It's about aligning yourself with a certain cultural group.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's switch gears.
Okay.
And look at Harris's supporters.
Okay.
She's got a lot of big names behind her, especially in music.
I can imagine. Yeah.
You've got Taylor Swift. She's practically running her own campaign,
Like what?
Like a Swifties for Harris campaign.
Oh, wow.
Encouraging her fans, a lot of whom are first-time voters, to register and vote.
Smart, yeah.
It's like she's mobilizing an army of young voters.
She really is. And Swift's impact on young people is huge, no doubt.
Yeah.
She's reaching a generation that's kind of over traditional politics.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smart move for Harris to try and capture that energy.
And remember, these young voters are a big chunk of the electorate.
They are.
Especially in those swing states we talked about.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And then you've got music legends like Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
He wrote an original song for Harris.
Really?
And John Legend.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is he doing these fundraising concerts, he's also a very vocal spokesperson for her criminal justice reform policies.
I see. So it's like a combo of star power and actually caring about the issues.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And it's not just music either.
Oh, yeah.
Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Probably the most powerful woman in media.
She is, yeah.
She's given Harris these exclusive interviews on her own W network.
Interesting.
It makes the campaign seem much more credible.
It does, yeah.
LeBron James, another global icon, has been very active with voter awareness campaigns, especially focused on Black communities.
Right.
And Mark Ruffalo, he's using his fame to support Harris's environmental policies.
Nice.
It's a really diverse group of influencers backing her.
Very cool.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like a celebrity all-star game.
It is. It is.
You've also got some acclaimed artists and activists, like Ava DuVernay, who actually directed a documentary on Harris.
Wow.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
He's using his Broadway connections to fundraise.
Smart.
And he's even writing these catchy campaign jingles.
Ooh.
And America Ferrera is leading these civic engagement efforts in Latino communities.
Interesting.
It's like they're not just endorsing her, they're actively working to get her elected.
Right. It's more than just words.
Yeah.
What I find fascinating is that these endorsements are chosen very carefully to appeal to certain groups of voters. It's not just about getting any big name.
Right.
It's about matching the celebrity with the right policy issues and the right voter demographics.
So it's a strategic game.
It is.
Carefully aligning celebrities with issues and demographics. But does all this star power actually make a difference?
Right. Does it change anyone's mind?
Yeah. Or is it just noise?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
It's tough to measure the direct impact.
Right.
But there's no doubt these endorsements create buzz.
Yeah.
Especially online. Remember how voter registration went up?
Yeah.
After Taylor Swift's Swifties for Harris thing?
Yeah.
That's got to mean something.
No, yeah, I mean, come on. It can't be a coincidence.
No.
But endorsements can backfire too, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I mean, Kanye West got a ton of backlash for supporting Trump.
Yeah.
Some radio stations even refused to play his music.
Wow.
And Jon Voight has been criticized a lot in Hollywood for being pro-Trump.
Makes sense, yeah.
So these endorsements can actually divide people.
Absolutely.
And maybe even hurt the candidate they're trying to help.
For sure. It's a risky move.
Totally.
Both for the celebrity and the politician.
Right. It's almost like a popularity contest within a popularity contest.
Oh, right.
But let's be real here.
Okay.
Beyond all the celebrity stuff, what are the real issues driving this election?
What are people actually worried about?
Yeah, what's keeping them up at night?
If we take a step back and look at the big picture, this election is really about what direction the country is going to go in.
Right.
The candidates have very different ideas about what America's future should look like.
Totally.
And that's reflected in their stances on the big issues.
Okay, so give us the rundown.
Right.
What's the policy battleground looking like?
Well, first, on the economy.
Okay.
Harris wants to increase government spending on things like infrastructure and clean energy, paid for by higher taxes on corporations and the wealthy.
Okay.
She says this will create jobs and help with climate change, but Trump wants to cut taxes and get rid of regulations.
Right.
He says that will make the free market work better, and everyone will benefit.
So it's a classic clash of economic philosophies.
Yeah.
Voters have to choose between more government involvement or a hands-off approach.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, what about climate change?
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Huge.
Literally and figuratively. Harris wants to rejoin the Paris Agreement, invest in renewable energy, and move away from fossil fuels. She sees climate change as a serious threat that needs immediate action.
Yeah.
But Trump has said he doesn't really believe in climate science.
I see.
And he wants to produce more oil and gas here in the U.S.
Right.
He says environmental rules hurt the economy and that America should focus on energy independence.
Right.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
Another issue that always causes debate.
Always, yeah.
So what are their positions?
Harris wants to expand on the Affordable Care Act,
the
ACA, and create a public option for health insurance. Her goal is universal coverage, but Trump wants to get rid of the ACA.
Right.
He prefers a system where the market decides with less government involvement.
So, again, it's two very different approaches.
It is.
One side focused on making healthcare affordable and accessible.
Right.
The other focused on individual choice and free market principles.
Exactly. And then there's immigration.
Okay.
Another major point of disagreement.
Right.
Harris wants to create a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants.
Okay.
And she wants a more compassionate border policy.
Okay.
Trump, on the other hand, wants stricter border controls, including finishing that wall.
Right.
And he wants tougher enforcement of immigration laws.
It's a really stark contrast.
It is.
Reflecting completely different views on the role of government.
Totally.
Individual freedom and social responsibility.
Absolutely. It's like a battle of ideologies.
It really is.
And all of this is happening against the backdrop of something we've never seen before.
What's that?
The most digital election in history.
Right.
Social media has become the main battleground.
Yeah, it has.
And it's not always pretty.
No, not at all.
No.
It's crazy how social media has become so powerful.
It is, yeah.
In our lives, and especially in politics.
Yeah, totally.
It's like a digital arms race out there.
It is. It is. So before the break, we were talking about social media and the selection.
Right. It's crazy how it's become such a big part of it.
It's like a whole new battleground.
It is.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Every share, every comment, it's all data that feeds into these algorithms that then decide what we see and how we think.
That's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is, yeah.
Like they know us better than we know ourselves.
In a way, yeah.
So both campaigns are using this, right?
Right, absolutely.
They're pouring tons of money into it.
Yeah.
Targeted ads, influencers, even AI-generated content.
All of that, yeah.
It's all about reaching the right voters with the right message at the right time.
Exactly.
And they're doing it on a massive scale.
Huge scale. Never seen anything like it.
So walk me through this.
Okay.
What are some of the tactics they're using?
Well, micro-targeting is a big one.
Okay.
They use all the data from your online activity, your likes, your shares, even your shopping habits.
Wow.
To build these really specific profiles of voters.
So they know exactly who to target.
Exactly. And then they can send messages that are tailored to your interests and what you care about.
So it's like personalized propaganda.
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
But it's not always so obvious.
Okay.
It could be something subtle.
Like what?
Like showing you an ad with a celebrity you like.
Okay.
Endorsing a certain candidate.
Right.
Or maybe they highlight a policy that they know you already agree with.
So you're more likely to support that candidate.
Right.
Wow, that's sneaky.
It is, yeah.
Okay, you also mentioned AI.
Right.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
How are they using that in campaigning?
Well, AI can be used to write speeches, generate content, even create those deep fake videos.
Wait, deep fakes?
Yeah.
Those videos where they make it look like someone is doing or saying something they never actually did.
Exactly. And the tech is so good now.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake.
That's scary.
It is, yeah.
So how do we protect ourselves from this?
Well, first of all, be a critical thinker.
Okay.
Don't believe everything you see online,
Right.
especially when it comes to politics.
Especially politics, yeah.
Fact check everything.
Okay.
Look for sources you trust and compare information from multiple outlets.
So it's about being a smart consumer of information.
Exactly.
Not just scrolling through our feeds without thinking.
Right. We need to be skeptical of everything we see online.
Okay.
There are some great organizations out there. Like factcheck.org and PolitiFact.
Okay.
They're dedicated to debunking false claims. But ultimately, we have to be our own gatekeepers.
We do, yeah.
Like that old saying,
yeah.
Trust but verify.
Exactly.
It applies now more than ever.
It does.
In the age of social media.
Yeah. And media literacy is so important.
Okay.
We need to understand these algorithms, how targeted advertising works, and how to spot disinformation.
So it's not just about being aware of the content, but also understanding how it's being manipulated.
Yeah, the stuff we don't see.
The behind-the-scenes stuff.
Exactly.
It's like there are these invisible forces shaping our online experience.
There are, yeah.
It's kind of creepy when you think about it.
It is, and it's not just about what we see. It's also about what we share.
Right.
Even if we don't mean to spread misinformation.
Yeah.
Sharing something misleading can have real consequences.
Like the butterfly effect.
It is.
One small action can have huge ripple effects.
Exactly. So think before you share.
Okay.
Is this information accurate? Is it from a source I trust? Right.
Am I helping or hurting?
Those are good questions to ask.
They are.
You know, we've talked about tech companies trying to regulate content on their platforms.
Right.
But it feels like they're always one step behind.
They are.
Can they really keep up with all this disinformation?
That's the big question.
It is.
And it's something governments around the world are trying to figure out.
Yeah.
More and more people are realizing that self-regulation isn't enough.
Right.
There's a lot of pressure on companies like Meta and Google to do more to control what spreads on their platform.
But isn't that censorship?
Well, that's the debate.
It is, yeah.
How do we protect free speech while also stopping the spread of harmful content?
Right. Where do we draw the line?
Exactly. It's a tough question.
It is.
And there are no easy answers.
Right.
It's something that Congress is actively talking about right now.
They are.
Yeah. There are proposals to change Section 230.
Okay.
That's the law that protects tech companies from being sued.
For what users post.
I see.
And some people even want to create a whole new agency.
Wow.
To oversee digital content.
It seems like we're entering uncharted territory here.
We are. The digital landscape is changing so fast.
It is.
It's hard to know what's going to happen.
It is.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
The way we consume and share information is going to continue to shape our political conversations for better or worse.
It will.
It's up to us to be informed citizens and to navigate this digital world carefully.
With critical thinking and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the digital battleground, but what about the traditional campaign stuff?
Like what?
Like knocking on doors, holding rallies.
Right.
Is that still relevant in this digital age?
Absolutely. Both campaigns know that face-to-face interaction is still powerful.
It is.
Especially in those swing states.
Right.
It's about connecting with people.
Yeah.
Getting volunteers energized. Start building momentum.
Right. And speaking of swing states, which ones are going to be the most important this time around?
Well, based on what we've seen before and the current polls, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Arizona are at the top of the list.
They are, okay.
These states have a history of close elections.
Right.
And their electoral votes could decide who wins.
They could. So Florida,
Yeah.
the Sunshine State,
Right.
it always seems to come down to the wire there.
It does, yeah.
What's the situation this time?
Well, Florida is like a melting pot.
Okay.
Diverse population, mix of urban and rural areas. Both candidates are really focused on Florida, trying to appeal to different groups of voters.
Right.
Trump is hoping to keep his support among seniors and conservative communities, while Harris is trying to get the Latino vote and younger, more liberal voters.
Okay, what about Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, the Keystone State.
Yeah.
It's known for its blue-collar roots, and it could go either way in this election.
It could.
The economy is a big issue there.
Okay.
Harris is talking about her plans for clean energy jobs to help revitalize the state's industries.
Okay.
Trump is focusing on protecting jobs in the fracking industry.
I see.
It shows how people's economic worries can influence how they vote.
They can.
Especially in places that have lost manufacturing jobs.
Right. And lastly, Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
It used to be reliably Republican.
It did.
But now it's a toss-up.
It is.
What's behind that shift?
Well, Arizona's demographics have changed a lot.
How so?
The Latino population is growing.
Okay.
And more young liberal voters are moving there.
Interesting.
Both candidates are trying to win them over.
Okay.
Because they could decide who gets Arizona's electoral votes.
So Florida, Pennsylvania, and Arizona are the key battlegrounds.
They are, yeah.
These are the states to watch.
They are.
And it's not just about who lives there. It's also about the issues that matter most to voters in those states.
Absolutely.
Healthcare, immigration, the economy, climate change.
All of that, yeah.
It's all part of the campaign's messaging.
It is.
And, of course, we can't forget about the media.
The media, right?
It seems like every news outlet has an agenda these days.
They do, yeah.
Their own spin on the election.
Right.
So how do we as viewers and readers filter out all the noise and figure out what's true?
That's a great question.
It is.
And it shows how important media literacy is, especially now with so many different news sources.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
So how do we navigate all this bias?
Well, it's not about finding one perfect objective source.
Okay.
It's about getting your news from different places.
Right.
Understanding their different points of view and critically evaluating the information they give you.
Okay.
It's about being aware of bias, both in the media and in ourselves.
Right.
And learning how to tell fact from opinion.
So it's about being an active news consumer.
Exactly.
Not just passively taking in whatever we see.
Right. Think of it like a puzzle.
Okay.
Each piece of information, even if it comes from a source we don't like, can help us see the whole picture.
That's a good analogy.
And remember, journalists are people too.
Right.
They have their own experiences and opinions.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're trying to lie to us.
Okay. That's good to remember.
It is.
But it's still a lot to handle.
It is, yeah.
Especially with information coming at us 24/7.
All the time.
So what's your advice?
The more we engage with different perspectives, the more we question our own assumptions, the better we'll be at making informed decisions.
Right.
Not just about this election, but about everything in our lives.
It's not about ignoring opposing views.
Right.
It's about engaging with them thoughtfully.
Absolutely.
Even if it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. That's what a healthy democracy is all about.
Yeah.
Being willing to listen, to learn, and to talk to each other respectfully, even when we disagree.
Well said.
Thank you.
Now, before we move on to the global implications of this election, there's one more domestic issue I want to touch on.
What's that?
Third-party candidates.
Oh, yeah.
Are they just spoilers?
Right.
Or do they have a real shot at shaking things up?
That's an interesting question.
It is.
It's mainly a race between Harris and Trump.
Right.
But we can't ignore third-party candidates.
Yeah.
Especially in a close election.
Especially in a close election.
Yeah, remember 2000?
With Ralph Nader.
Exactly.
Some people think he cost Al Gore the election.
Yeah, he might have taken enough votes away.
Right.
To give George W. Bush the win.
Could that happen again this time?
It could, yeah.
It could.
Even candidates who aren't polling very high can have a big impact if they appeal to a specific group of voters.
Okay, so who are the main third-party candidates this year?
Well, the Libertarian Party candidate hasn't been doing that well in the polls.
Okay.
But they could take votes away from Trump.
I see.
Especially from voters who don't like either of the main parties.
Right.
And are looking for something different.
Okay. And what about the Green Party?
The Green Party nominee hasn't been doing too well either.
Okay.
But they could hurt Harris.
Yeah.
Especially among progressive voters who want stronger environmental policies.
I see.
And see the Green Party as more serious about climate change.
So it's a wild card.
It is.
But worth paying attention to.
Definitely.
Especially in a tight race like this.
Yeah, every vote matters.
Every vote matters.
Even if third-party candidates don't win, they could still influence the outcome.
Yeah, it's something both campaigns are watching closely.
They are.
Okay, let's shift our focus now.
Okay.
Let's look beyond the U.S.
All right.
I imagine the rest of the world is watching this election closely.
Oh, definitely.
With a mix of curiosity and maybe a little fear.
Yeah, the U.S. presidential election. Yeah. It's a global event.
It is.
The results matter for countries everywhere.
Yeah.
Leaders, diplomats, everyday citizens.
Yeah.
They're all paying attention.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what a Harris presidency or another Trump term would mean for them.
Right, and for the world as a whole.
Exactly.
So what's the general feeling out there?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
European leaders seem cautiously optimistic about Harris.
Okay.
They're hoping for more cooperation between countries.
Right.
A renewed focus on climate change and stronger relationships with Europe.
Okay.
Which were kind of damaged during Trump's presidency.
I can see why they'd be hoping for a change.
Yeah.
After the America First approach.
Yeah, right.
But on the other hand, some countries with authoritarian leaders have quietly supported Trump.
Really?
Yeah. They see his America First policies and his skepticism of international organizations as an opportunity for them to do what they want without the U.S. getting involved. It's a reminder that U.S. politics doesn't happen in isolation.
Right. It affects the whole world.
Yeah. Our elections have ripple effects everywhere.
They do, yeah.
And that's why everyone's watching this election so close.
Exactly. The stakes are high.
They are.
Not just for America.
Right.
But for everyone.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
Okay, before we wrap up.
Okay.
There's one more thing we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Election security.
Right.
With all this talk about foreign interference and cyber attacks, can we be sure our votes will be counted fairly on November 5th? That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
It's been on everyone's mind since 2016.
Right.
There's no doubt our election system is a target.
Right.
We've seen evidence of foreign countries trying to interfere through hacking and disinformation campaigns.
It's a scary thought.
Is
especially with how connected we are now.
For sure. But the good news is that things have improved since 2016.
The government and private companies have been working on election security.
Right.
There's been more investment in cybersecurity. Voter registration databases are more secure.
Okay.
And there's more oversight of voting machines and how votes are counted.
So is the system foolproof now?
No system is perfect.
Right.
But we're in a much better place than we were 4 years ago.
Okay, that's good to hear.
It is.
And I know both campaigns have lawyers ready.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case there are any legal challenges to the results.
Right. Unfortunately, that's become normal.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the next few weeks are going to be pretty intense.
They will be. This election is going to be historic.
It is.
It's important to stay informed, engaged, and vigilant.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've given us a lot to think about.
I have.
You have.
Good.
It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
okay,
let's recap what we've learned so far. We talked about celebrity endorsements, social media manipulation, swing state dynamics,
the role of the media,
the global implications of the election, and election security.
It's a lot.
It is.
But important stuff.
It is.
As we head into the final stretch, remember, every vote counts.
Yeah.
Your voice matters. Your participation makes our democracy work.
Well said.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with some final thoughts.
Okay.
And some key takeaways for you to consider before you vote on November 5th.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up this deep dive into the 2024 election.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
We have, from celebrity endorsements to social media to swing states
to global implications
to election security. It's been quite a ride.
It has.
But you wanted to understand what's really going on.
Right, beyond the headlines.
And I think we've uncovered some fascinating stuff.
I think so, too.
What really strikes me is how different this election feels.
It does, yeah.
From any other in recent memory.
Totally.
There's this real sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Like, the stakes are incredibly high.
They are.
Not just for America.
Right.
But for the whole world.
You hit the nail on the head.
It's not just about picking a president anymore.
No.
It's about deciding what kind of country we want to be.
Exactly.
What values are most important to us, and what kind of future we want for ourselves and our kids.
Right. The choices we make on November 5th.
Yeah.
They're going to have a huge impact.
They will.
On everything.
On everything.
From the economy and healthcare to climate change and our place in the world.
Honestly, it can feel a little overwhelming.
I get that.
It's easy to get caught up in all the negativity.
It is.
All the cynicism around politics.
Yeah, but I think when things feel uncertain and scary, that's when it's most important to get involved.
So what can we do?
As individuals.
Yeah, how do we make a difference when the problems seem so big?
Well, first, stay informed. Okay.
Don't just rely on headlines or social media.
Right.
Dig deeper, read more, check your facts.
Okay.
And try to get different perspectives.
So it's like we talked about before.
Yeah.
With media literacy.
Exactly.
We have to be careful about what information we consume.
We do.
And understand where it's coming from.
Right. Be skeptical.
Skeptical about everything we see and hear.
Especially in this digital age.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we stay informed.
Right.
But then what?
Then you get involved.
Okay. How?
There are lots of ways.
Like?
Well, the most important is voting.
Right, of course.
Your vote is your voice.
It is.
Make sure you use it.
Okay.
But it's more than just voting.
Okay.
You can volunteer for a campaign, donate to a cause you believe in,
right.
Talk to people about the issues.
Even people who disagree with me.
Especially people who disagree with you.
Okay.
Have those tough conversations.
Respectfully, of course.
Of course, respectfully.
Okay, remember, democracy isn't a spectator sport.
Right.
It's about participating.
It is.
Every action, no matter how small, makes our democracy stronger.
Listening to you talk, it actually makes me feel more hopeful.
Good.
It reminds me that we have the power to make things better.
We do.
Even when the problems feel huge.
Absolutely. This election, like all elections, is a chance to show our commitment to democracy.
Okay.
To make decisions together.
Right.
And to work towards a better future.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we're not powerless.
Exactly.
Our voices matter.
They do.
And together, we can make a difference.
We can.
Okay, well, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
We have.
What's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
As they head to the polls.
Yeah, what's the key takeaway?
Remember this, the power to shape our future, it's in our hands.
It is.
Use your voice, make it heard, and make this election a celebration of our democracy.
That's a great message to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even inspiring.
I hope so.
And remember, the future is ours to create.
It is.
Thanks for listening.